Hey Tara, how are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you, Tina. How are you doing?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Really well. What is the current status of COVID-19 where you are?
So I think it's an interesting time where some places are starting to rise again. Colorado, there was a little bit, so they went and closed bars again, bars and nightclubs, but restaurants are still open. So I think we're starting to level out a little bit. Public spaces are still open. There's a mask order, which makes sense. But so I think we're in a good place right now.
Were you in full lockdown where you are?
We were for about a month and a half in Colorado. We have offices throughout the country, so that was really interesting. And even now it's interesting kind of checking in with folks because it's a little different depending on the state that they're in and the region that they're in.
Do you think food service has been impacted? I mean, have there been many closures?
There have been. It's starting to happen more now, for sure. I think that the CARES Act helped some restaurants cover that gap, but unfortunately, we're starting to see some closures here in Colorado.
A conversation I have quite a lot with people is that COVID-19 really has forced many of us out to do things that we didn't really think we were going to do before, or we might have talked about and not really done. It's a little bit like the delivery, isn't it, and the carry out, that a lot of operators will have thought, we probably should do that, but not really sure how it's going to work. And then this happened and bang.
No, you're absolutely right. Everybody had to figure it out. And what was pretty amazing to see, I work with a lot of colleges and universities, and just everybody coming together, even initially, right after lockdown happened, just calls happening between campuses or pulling in different folks from all different sectors of the industry, designers, manufacturers, distributors of food even, and being in on those calls and just trying to work through what is this going to look like? What is this going to mean? People sharing best practices at this point, trying to figure out what is going to be the best approach for the next 6 months or year. I feel like it's been an opportunity to reach out to folks. I was at home with my kids for 2 months, so you miss that camaraderie, that maybe we would get at conferences or even traveling to different projects. So just connecting with people in the industry through Zoom and doing happy hours or just trying to stay connected.
In the wider food service sector, have you seen anything particularly inspiring?
I think so. Here in Colorado, I think that the outdoor dining, has been great. There's just I think a greater appreciation for the outdoors. I know here that they allowed some restaurants to take over, parking lots or close down streets to allow them to spill out a little bit more. And I think it's just made a greater appreciation of the outdoors in general, not just in dining.
When you were able to go out again for a meal out, where did you go?
So there's a sushi restaurant that I love that has a great outdoor space that I went with my family, which was really nice. But I have to tell you, some of my favorite places are still closed. There's a dim sum place that I love to go to just because you can. The food is right there that you can see, and usually it's a large table, about 12-15 people, everyone sharing plates together, and for obvious reasons that's just
that's out.
Not open yet. So looking forward to when that when we're able to go back there.
Yeah. What's that called, the dim sum place?
It's called Star Kitchen.
How did the pandemic impact you? So obviously you say you were at home for 2 months, but how else did it kind of change your daily life?
My life used to be a lot of travel, and so it's finding ways to stay connected to folks, even though not being able to see them in person. I would say too, just trying to be in the moment a little bit more, trying to be present, because things are changing so much in the outside world. Being at work, being present, being with my family. I'd say not traveling is a little bit of a gift, just being able to spend more time with my kids. So just trying to really appreciate that time.
Do you miss the traveling?
I do. I do. I think it's interesting. I've always considered myself an introvert to some degree, but I think I've realized how much of an extrovert I am because I really miss being in groups and collaborating with people in person, on projects, or even just seeing people at conferences.
Are there any other things you've kind of been starting to do during the pandemic where you've been forced to kind of be more at home?
Definitely my yard has gotten more attention. My dog has gotten more attention. My dog is thrilled that I'm not traveling as much as I did before. And then being out on the water, I think, we don't have a ton of water in Colorado. We're more known for our mountains, but just, paddleboarding or kayaking, just trying to enjoy that while the weather's nice.
Do you think there's anything we can learn from this time, both as people, but also as a community in the food service sector?
I definitely think some of the connections that I talked about before is something that hopefully will stay. Being able to share best practices, personally, all of us, with being more appreciative of what we have, of the time that we are able to spend together.
If there's one thing you could say that you take from all this, what would it be?
Well, I definitely miss hugs. So I think that I'm gonna, give a lot more hugs once we're able to open up to, to friends and acquaintances, people that you're not able to see in person, that maybe we've only been able to connect via Zoom.
That's a great answer. Thank you so much. And I wish you all the best, Tarah.
Oh, thank you, Tina. You too.
Take care.
Okay, you too.